So this is for those of you who keep asking me questions about which software should I use for this, which software please, today I have arrived. In today's video, I am going to be telling you about these three softwares and their uses and how I use them. Understand? Now take your book and your job and begin to whatever. Number one, Capture One. What I normally do in Capture One is I just go to Capture One and process my raw images. For those of us who shoot our images in RAW, when we come to Capture One, it's easier for us to just process there. Now, for those of you using Nikon, you might come across the process where once you bring your picture into Capture One, you realize that the picture has added more contrast. All you have to do is to go to the place where it's written camera, then change the settings from portrait or standard back to the mode you use in snapping the picture. Yes. And Capture One has a lot of features. It has a lot of adjustment layout. You can stay there and just adjust the color, adjust the brightness. You can adjust some particular place and leave others. You can use your brush and just brush some areas and leave some other places. The more you stack your adjustment layer on top, the more you create something nice with it. Yes, that is the alarm from my lights. Going to number two. Number two will be Lightroom. Lightroom is the place where I do my batch processing. Recently, I did a batch processing in Capture One, but I feel like it's more easier in Lightroom, where I have all my presets lined up. I can just do, run through a lot of pictures. Lightroom is another form of camera raw. These softwares, I feel like they are made basically for raw pictures, where you can do your raw processing very well, come out with something nice with your raw. Because to those professional photographers, they don't even do much in Capture One or Lightroom because they do almost everything in camera when they are taking the pictures. So once you are that good, Capture One is just to help you enhance, and Lightroom is to help you enhance. Recently, I noticed that Lightroom also have the option of selecting subject, so you can actually select subject. Yes, you can actually select subject, then work on the background and work on some areas. You have your brush also in Lightroom. Then the overall one, the chief of staff, the king of all of them is Photoshop. In Photoshop, you can actually edit your video, you can run actions, it's just endless. So where we do our main retouching, our frequency separation, our dodge and burn and every other thing is in Photoshop. Photoshop is not a raw processing software. That's why they have Lightroom, Camera Raw. The reason why I didn't talk about Camera Raw is because we already have Lightroom. So in this other software, if you drag a picture direct to Photoshop, it will open in Camera Raw. So you go there and do your raw processing, then you bring it back. The amazing thing about Capture One is once you finish adjusting, you can just move the picture to Photoshop as TIFF file. It's easier than the way you move it from Lightroom. You can also move TIFF from Lightroom, but I prefer Capture One. And if you want to ask me, in all these raw processing software, which one do you prefer? Till tomorrow, I will tell you it is Capture One. So when I bring it to Photoshop, all I do is just remove blemishes and just go straight into retouching. And when I'm done, I go back to Capture One and do my color grade, or I can do my color grade in Photoshop. Or if I want to start doing like of them all, and now move it back to Camera Raw and go and use calibration and fix the image. Yes, that is it for the class. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give me a like. For those of you who have refused to go to my YouTube and subscribe, do it now.